Welcome back to another episode of Drop the Mitts Hockey Podcast, brought to you in partnership with Primetime Productions. We have a great guest here, 27th overall pick in the 2023 NHL Draft to the Colorado Avalanche, and current member of the Oshawa Generals, Cal Ritchie. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good, thanks. How are you?
I'm good, man. Can't complain. I understand that you're, rehabbing from shoulder surgery at the end of the season. How is the rehab going? You must be itching to get back out there with your teammates.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's been a long time, and it's coming along well, and right on track with where the surgeon wants me. So yeah, I just can't wait to get back, and all the trainers are putting in tons of work for me.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. And it looks like, you got a pretty good team coming back with you. And yeah, that's huge. And when are you anticipating on, getting back?
Like I'm hoping like anytime soon, just like whenever the doctors can clear me. So
Cool,
it's
man.
not really
Yeah.
in my hands at this point, but just whenever the doctors feel I'm ready, I'll be good to go.
Yeah, good shit, dude. So I kind of wanted to start it out, talking about like your early days growing up playing hockey. Kind of what got you into the game. Growing up and starting out, who would you credit as your biggest influence for your love of the game?
Definitely my dad. Like, he played growing up, so he got me into it early. And then I have an older brother who played, obviously. So I was always kind of trying to follow in his footsteps and play hockey with him. So it was kind of great for me growing up to always kind of compete with my brother, and definitely is why I'm in the position I am today.
So as you were growing up, did you have a favorite player, that you followed? And even now, do you have a player that's in the league now that you kind of try to emulate your game after and just kind of take little tidbits from in their game?
Yeah, for sure. I think like growing up, I always loved Sidney Crosby. Just like great two-way guy, and he's like great person off the ice too. So I was always a huge Crosby fan, and then I like Jonathan Taves too. Good two-way game center. I think that's kind of the way I try to play hockey. So yeah, I kind of look at those two guys kind of growing up. But now, I mean, obviously at Colorado and at camp and all that, I was skating on the ice with like McKinnon and Ranson and those guys. So obviously I try to take stuff from their game and try to put it into mine. So I mean, yeah, at this level, at this point in my career, I kind of just look at, I mean, whoever in the NHL and try to take their good habits and their best abilities and try to put it into my game.
Yeah, for sure, man. And you mentioned that growing up with an older brother, Ethan's in the Boston Bruins organization. Got a chance to interview him, literally one of the nicest humans I got to talk to, man. And like honestly, I was kind of like we were just talking about it, I was kind of wandering around that locker room looking for someone, and he just again was so just open to answering questions and just so kind and generous. He talked about in that interview, you guys growing up and always shooting pucks in the garage together, mini hockey battles. Um, what does it mean to you to have a brother who's also extremely talented, right? And what kind of mentorship has Ethan offered you both on and off the ice?
Yeah, so much. Like he's my best friend, and obviously growing up with him, being able to compete with him was huge. And I think the biggest year definitely was during COVID when we were just together working on our game at home in our basement and in our garage shooting pucks and all that. And I found my game really elevated from that year, just being able to train with him. And yeah, that was definitely huge for me having a brother to kind of lean on for support and all that throughout like my whole career. So yeah, it's obviously been great, and yeah, he's my best friend.
Yeah, and one of the questions I asked, I had to know who came out on top during those mini hockey battles, and I'm curious what your answer is. And you probably saw his answer on there that you're the more skilled one and he's the brute. Who usually came out on top in those battles?
Yeah, he'd come out on top. I gotta admit it, but yeah, no, I'd be trying to do some skill plays, and he just lay the body on me. Being 3 years older, he was a lot bigger and stronger than me, so it definitely helped me just in general. Just any sport we played, he'd definitely be pretty physical on me. So definitely,
I feel like he'd be that dude that just like someone tries to pull like a Michigan, he would just
yeah.
head down, just fucking destroy someone. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, that's awesome, man. I always love seeing those, the stories about, brothers coming into the league together and, being able to grow up and kind of, work with each other. And obviously you guys seem so close, so that's awesome to see. You always love seeing those kind of stories.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
so kind of to pivot a little bit, you had an unbelievable performance at the Helinka Gretzky Cup, which is a huge tournament. It's like the best of the best, and you get to represent your country. You had an incredible tournament, earning gold medal, most assists you had 6, and most points at 10. Talk to us about that tournament and what it meant to you to be able to represent your country and obviously win gold.
Yeah, it was an awesome experience. I mean, anytime you get the chance to represent your country at that level, it's unbelievable. And we had a great team, and I was really glad I was able to kind of contribute and help the team. And obviously, winning gold was unreal, and definitely, I think it's probably my greatest hockey moment. I think greatest accomplishment.
Yeah, that was my next question. Is this the number one moment, in throughout your hockey career so far? So that kind of answers my question. Dude, like that team I was going through the list, man. That team, like including yourself, like was loaded. What was it like playing with some of those guys? Obviously, some of those guys are, you know, like yourself, super talented. What was it like playing with some of those, guys that are, got drafted super high?
Yeah, no, it was awesome. I mean, I love to play at that level and compete against the best. And any chance you get to play with the top players in your age group, it's unreal. And to be able to kind of compare yourself to them and be on a team with them and see what it's like. Yeah, to kind of compete with them and also try to win. So yeah, our team was really good, and it was a lot of fun to play with those guys.
So this will be your third year in the OHL with the Oshawa Generals. So far in 124 games, you have 43 goals, 61 assists, and 104 points. Talk to us about your time with the Oshawa Generals and what that organization has meant to you, throughout your young career.
Yeah, it's been awesome. I think kind of stepping into the league as a 16-year-old, moving away from home. You're obviously kind of it's obviously a new environment, and they do a great job at kind of making you feel welcome. All the guys were great right away, and you kind of just get in there and try to make an impact right away. And I was lucky enough to have the opportunity to do that. And I think kind of, I mean, starting there, there's no better place to play in the OHL. So really enjoy it and really kind of savor all the moments I can playing for the Generals.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And kind of to go back to big tournaments that you've played in, you got the opportunity to also play in the World Juniors, finishing bronze in that tournament. 3 goals, 6 assists, 9 points in 7 games. Again, what did it mean to represent Canada in this tournament? You got to play with guys, other phenomenal players like yourself. Macklin Celebrini, Matthew Wood, Colby Barlow, Porter Martin. I mean, the list goes on and on. Um, what was it like, being able to play in that tournament, but now you're playing other countries' best players? Like, what was that like?
Yeah, it was awesome. I think, I mean, obviously playing, we were in playoffs with Oshawa and we got eliminated unfortunately in the first round, but um, I was just really thankful to get that opportunity to play some more hockey, and my season wasn't just over. So it was definitely a great experience, and I definitely learned a lot from it, and it was a lot of fun playing with those guys for sure. And yeah, like you said, competing against the best players in the world. So yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I kind of want to talk, pivot a little bit and talk about your draft experience. Obviously, you were drafted, 27th overall. You were in Nashville. Beforehand, like before the draft, when you had your interviews and everything, did you have any idea where you would possibly go? Like, did you always know you were going to go to Colorado? Were there any other teams like in play beforehand, or like, did you have no idea where you were going?
Yeah, not really. I didn't have much of a clue to be honest, but yeah, obviously talk to some teams more than others, and you kind of have a bit of an idea. But when it's obviously a moving process, and there's no really like science to it, I guess. You kind of just waiting to hear your name. So yeah, no, it was an unbelievable experience, and couldn't be happier than being picked by Colorado for sure.
I always like to ask, the guys that we have on here, like, did you have any bizarre pre-draft questions? Like, we've heard some hilarious ones, like throughout, even on like other podcasts too. You hear like on Chicklets or like any of those other pods that some of these questions that these GMs and representatives come up with are hilarious, and it's like I don't even know how I'd react in that situation, getting hearing something like that. Did you have any experiences like that?
I got one. Just they asked me what animal I am off the ice, and then what animal I am on the ice. Montreal asked me that question, and I kind of knew that was the question the teams asked, so I kind of had that prepared. But I think my answer was monkey for on the ice because they're like smart, and I think that's one of my good traits as a player. Is I think the game well. And then off the ice, can't remember what I said. I might have said like a horse or something. Just they're reliable and I don't know. I guess they're loyal and stuff like that.
I'm pretty sure Zach Benson told us that he said he was a golden retriever or something, like, completely out of the like, dude, it's so funny, like I said, like, we've heard throughout the years, like, I forgot who it was last year talking about, like, about smoking pot or whatever, and I think it was Stevie Y actually who asked the
Yeah,
question just out of left field. They're always hilarious to hear those stories to kinda, like, throw you off, but two good answers from you, like, can't go wrong with those. Um, so when you finally heard your name called in the first round pick, um, Colorado has such a rich hockey tradition. Stanley Cups, Hall of Famers across the board. Did any of the guys first? I guess I want to ask you, what was that moment like? The moment you heard your name, your family's around you. Um, the time is here. Like, take me through that moment, what you were thinking, and what it was like to be, celebrate with your family.
yeah, it was unbelievable, and yeah, just like right when you kind of hear your name called, I kind of just blacked out to be honest.
Yeah.
I got up, hugged my family, and just thanked them for everything, and then went up on stage and did all the interviews and stuff, and honestly don't even really remember all that part. And then yeah, you get up and see your family in the box and meet everyone in the organization again. And yeah, that whole night was unbelievable and definitely one of the best nights of my life.
Yeah, and again, we bring back the how close you and your brother are, and he even said too, it was the happiest moment of his life, being able to see you live out your dream, and you know, you're getting this opportunity, and it was so cool to hear that, man. Like, you always love seeing those stories, and um, yeah, it's awesome. So once you got drafted, obviously you have like a loaded Colorado team there, right? And did any of those guys reach out to you to kind of offer their congratulations, or tips or anything, just like
Yeah,
mentorship, any of those guys?
yeah, like McKinnon reached out, called me, like I called him the next day, and then Landeskog, Rantanen, Makar, Devon Taves, Andrew Cogliano. Yeah, so they were all super supportive, and you can tell like they have a really tight group there, and just really glad to be part of that organization. And obviously with my shoulder, my rehab over the summer, Cogliano was great with that, and he's from the Toronto area, so he knows some good therapists here. So he was able to set me up with a physiotherapist, so that was awesome for me. And they're really dialed in there, and they take the team really serious. So it's kind of cool to see that they care so much about a first round pick that's not going to play on the team for however long. But yeah, it's awesome for
You
sure.
you love to hear stuff like that, man. Like, and obviously, Colorado is pretty well known to have such a good leadership group. Ton of great leaders on that team that even don't wear letters, right? Um, it's awesome to hear, and what kind of peace of mind does it give you, kind of knowing that that's what you're walking into? Just a team that has phenomenal leaders, guys that have been in the league, for such a long time and have been successful in the league at that. What kind of peace of mind does that give you? That that's what you're walking into.
Yeah, I think it's obviously great. I mean, my goal is obviously playing in the NHL and win a Stanley Cup, and there's no better place to learn and grow into that being that player. And just really excited to kind of get in there and earn my spot.
Yeah, we were able to watch a lot of film on, your game and try to get to know you and how you play the game. But Elite Prospects has your hockey sense as your, defining quality. You mentioned that within the draft interviews that you have, you're smart on the ice, your hockey IQ is off the charts. For Avalanche fans, what kind of player are they getting in Cal Ritchie, and what are some areas also to kind of pivot the other way, what are some areas in your game that you'd really like to focus on improving?
Yeah, I think like for improving, I think obviously you need to be good at everything to play at that level in the NHL. So I think I mean every day I'm just trying to work on all aspects of my game. And you get stronger, faster, better shot, better skating, all that. So yeah, and I just think yeah, as a player, like you said, I think I'm a smart player and try to play a good two-way game, and I think it could generate offense as well. So um, yeah, I think obviously I'm just trying to grow into being a well-rounded player and be able to help the team.
Kind of going back to development camp, talking about that, you got the opportunity to go, skate with these guys, some of the prospects and stuff. What was that experience like? Just that week long whole, what was your biggest takeaway from that week? Both on the ice, off the ice stuff, whatever. What was your biggest takeaway from that?
Um, yeah, I just think I mean how hard those guys work, how much time they put in, and I think a big thing I noticed when I was in Colorado was there's no egos. There's I mean the training staff there they spend so much time with me, and I mean I'm just a 18-year-old kid, and they spent countless hours on me over the month that I was there, and helping me recover from injury, and then obviously getting on the ice with those guys it was awesome, and kind of just seeing how much work it takes to play at that level. Yeah, there's always ways you can improve your game, and kind of love to be around that for sure.
Yeah, man. Well, again, that kind of wraps up, everything that I can't thank you for taking the time to come on and drop the mitts. We wish you the best, as you continue rehabbing your injury. And we really hope to see you out on the ice soon, man. Miss watching you play, and honestly, we wish you the best, going forward.
Thank you, really appreciate it.
Awesome, man. Thank you. Take care.
Yeah, take care. Thank you.